Shalom. Call Haloyam La, Yahapwa, Bahasham, Yahapushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash, Brakta Yahapwa, Brakta Yahapushai, Brakta Racha Kodash, Bahasham, Yahapushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Shalom and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elders in the Akim and the Akwath. Shalom. So-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, or the Lost Trail Tribes of Israel. So I just want to go into a quick video, titled Breaking. Kyrie Irving suspended at least 5 games minimum without pay. So the controversy in question right now is by the small hats that run the earth. Kyrie's gotten suspended because we'll read the article here. Read the title. It says Kyrie Irving suspended by Brooklyn Nets over failure to disavow anti-Semitism after Twitter controversy. So disavow means they want him to renounce his support of anti-Semitism, but actually he's pro-Semitic. So what he did, Amazon Prime. Anyone familiar with Amazon Prime? It's like Netflix. They have a movie streaming service like Netflix, right? Excuse me. It says it's called what? Amazon Prime Video. And it's just like Netflix. It has really good movies. It's a really good streaming service for movies as well, right? And so they have a movie on there called From Hebrews to Negroes. And it was a documentary that was done, I think about 5 years ago or so. It happened around shortly after coming to the truth. And I remember that documentary, but the guy, he has accurate that the Israelites, that the real Jews are so-called, the real Jews are so-called blacks. But I believe he's a, if I'm not mistaken, a black only Israelite, meaning he believes that only that the lost 12 tribes of Israel are all black. So some Israelites don't have all the full truth. And I've stated many times that throughout my videos, Second Ezra chapter 13, verses 40 through 46. That's the key breakdown right there that proves that the northern kingdom came over here to the Americas after they left the Assyrian captivity, as you can read, I believe, in 2 Kings chapter 17, when the Assyrians took away the northern kingdom to Israel, the 10 tribes, took them away into captivity, and then they left and they went across the ocean into a far land where never mankind dwelt. And what land was that? Over here in the Americas. And they state their claim and took this land, and it was their land. They claimed this land because the Most High ordained this land to be our last captivity over here. And they was over here for about almost 2,000 years before Christopher Columbus is what they call him. Came over here. He actually used the Bible, so-called Apocrypha, in the First Maccabees. Second Ezra 13 and 40 through 46. He used the Bible, and he knew that's how they knew who they were going to encounter, because on those boats where Christopher Columbus had translators on the boat with him for when they encountered the people over here in the Americas, and those translators were translators of the Hebrew language, because those are the Hebrew Israelites, the lost 10 tribes. The northern kingdom was over here, and he knew that, right? So, in that video, it has some good truth in it about, the so-called blacks and how we lost our heritage from being Hebrews to becoming Negroes, right? Lost our heritage, which is Jeremiah 17 and 4. Prophecy fulfilled of us the Most High discontinued us from our heritage, and we became Negroes that way from Hebrews. So Kyrie posted that video, and I don't think that the name of the Most High Yahweh and Yahawashi is mentioned in there. I don't think, because that's the most powerful names in the earth. and that's dreadful among the heathen, and it probably wouldn't have got posted. It's more of a watered down version of the truth, but it's a great starting point to realize, okay, so-called blacks are the real Jews. And so Kyrie, he posted that on his social media account, on his Twitter account. He shared it from the streaming service, and you can share it, I guess, and link it to your Twitter account or whatever social media account you want to send it to, and then people will see that post, and then that'll spark a lot of interest, and it can possibly wake up some elect members, if they see it. So, Amalek, the so-called, the little hats, the Ish people, right? They're going to attack at all costs to protect their lie and say he's anti and play victim, but he's actually pro. He's pro Shemitic. So what Shemitic is Shem, Noah's sons, Shem, Japheth, and Ham, and Shem, which means name. The name of the Most High is going to reside with a chosen bloodline through Shem. So through Shem came Abraham, and then from Abraham, Isaac to Jacob, which name became Israel, the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. And the name of the Most High, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, rested within the chosen bloodline of that lineage right there. So actually, he's pro-Shemitic, not anti. Anti means you're against Shemitic. No, he's claiming to be Shemitic through the bloodline of Shem, and we're the chosen bloodline, a chosen nation of the Most High, above all nations on the earth. And so they must protect that at all costs, because this is the greatest hoax in the history of mankind. And the game and the jig is up, and he's trying his best to fight, the so-called real Jew, the so-called Jews, Jewish. But, they're attacking him to try to quiet the truth from coming out, but you can't do anything against the truth but for the truth, as the scriptures say. So when we pull up this, it's a quote here. It says, in a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. So it's a revolutionary act to actually speak truth and facts of reality in a world that's controlled by the wicked and Satan and the deceiver, the Bible speaks of. Devil means simply deceiver or slanderer or false accuser. And that's what they're doing. They're falsely accusing Kyrie of being hateful towards Shemitic people, but he's pro-Shemitic, not anti. Even no matter how retorted it may sound, they're going to always just say that. They have to just come up against the truth, because if they let the truth grow, then they know that they'll get vanquished. Their lies will be their world of lies will come crashing down, but it's coming down either way, whether they want to or not. They can lie all they want. It's coming down either way. So when this was Kyrie a couple years ago, a little while back, he was coming to the games with a walking cane, but that is actually a shepherd's cane, because that's our culture and our heritage. We were shepherds, so that's a clear sign that he knows that he's an Israelite now. And this was a couple years back as well, or a year or two ago. He was walking around the court over in Boston. It's called the Boston Garden, and he has sage, and that's another key another key sign that he knows he's an Israelite, because that's an Israelite custom. The incense and the sage. Sage is one of the things it does. It was used for warding off evil spirits. And I did a video called the F Kyrie Rage, where the whole Boston fans were just screaming and chanting, repeating over and over F Kyrie, but they was using the full language during the game. And it's a very evil, satanic, serpent hatred that they have for Israelite brothers. And there was a survey done. Boston is the most racist, bigot city in the country of the U.S. It's the most racist city. It's the most racist city in the United States. People would think that a southern state or southern city would be the most racist in the country, but no, Boston is the most racist city in the country. So those are some very racist serpents over there in Boston, And so that's probably, he knew that he was about to get attacked by all kind of evil demons. So he probably went around the court trying to ward off spirits before the game, and just do some sage, just to do something to try to help that evil, wicked hate that they have over there in Boston. But he knows he's an Israelite, and the fake Jews are attacking in full attack mode. Um, so we read the first paragraph. I'll leave a link to the description and I'll leave a link to the article in the description. We'll read a couple paragraphs and get some precepts and close out. It says the Brooklyn Nets announced Thursday the suspension of Kyrie Irving days, and this is breaking news like about an hour ago. The Brooklyn Nets announced Thursday the suspension of Kyrie Irving days after he tweeted a link to a documentary that has been criticized as anti-Semitic and then defended his decision to do so. So, who are these people? They're nothing but, evil and wicked and sinful people. And, who are they to say what is, it's been criticized by who? And based off of what foundation have they criticized the documentary on? Because when we go here, it's Isaiah 8:20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. So they're criticizing it off of what foundation? The commandments, the laws? No, they're not. Their own wicked, carnal, dark, desperately wicked mind. Their lies. Their foundation of lies is what they're criticizing it off of, even though it's a retarded foundation they got, because it doesn't make any sense. They don't quote any scriptures. All they do is run their mouth and talk and slander. They don't use any scriptures to justify any of their claims. That's how you know that they're lying. Because the Most High say to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. They are the dark nation. They're actually the black people of the earth, because black is a negative connotation that they placed on us, but they're actually the black spirited people of the earth. So the second paragraph, in a statement on Twitter, the team said they made repeated attempts to help Irving understand the harm and danger of his words and actions, which began with him publicizing a film containing deeply disturbing anti-Semitic hate, which are lies. It's a retarded narrative that they have that they're going to just continue. It's like scripture say, let precept be upon precept, line upon line. Let's go ahead and get that real quick too. It's also, it's in, is it 8? Isaiah 28. Yeah, because this one came to my mind through the spirit right here. Because it's the same old repeat garbage over and over. It makes zero sense. So Isaiah 28 and verse 9, whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Doctrine is the teaching of the commandments. Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. That's what Yahushua told Nicodemus, the real Jew Pharisee, right? He told him that you must become born again, a new man, spiritually. And then and that's that milk, learning the foundation of the commandments, and then grow by that. So them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Verse 10, for precept must be upon precept. And that's what the wisdom is referenced as a woman. So that's that woman that nurtures you when you first come to the truth. And the Holy Spirit from the Most High is a he, not a she. But the wisdom that you learn is a she. So that's what this referencing right here. So anyways, verse 10, for precept must be upon precept. Precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little. So they keep on having this same tired, played out line of anti-Semitic, anti this, anti that, saying the same old garbage every time. And it hurts people. It's like, okay, what else you got? The Most High say, let line be upon line, precept upon precept. Prove that, and also most I say, prove thy cause. They're not proving their cause. You prove your cause through the scriptures. All they're doing is just attacking and slandering and demonizing and vilifying. They're not coming with no scriptures. All they're doing is running their mouth and talking. That's how you know a liar, a person that doesn't ever quote the scriptures. Anybody claiming to be the chosen seed of the Most High, and they don't open the Bible and read one scripture to prove any and everything, to prove all things, then that's when you know that you're dealing with a liar and a deceiver and a child of Satan, and you leave them, and you rebuke them and get away from them. You dust your feet off and leave them alone. His blood will be upon him for the wickedness that he proliferating, because they only speaking from their own mind. So they talking about they try to help him understand the harm. Understand what? According to what knowledge? What knowledge are they sharing with him for him to understand? you know. So we'll go to Proverbs. These people are very, very wicked, man. These are the most filthy, degenerate people on the earth. They're literally just scum, man. Slithering, slimy snakes. So you read Proverbs 2 and verse 2 through 5. So that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom and apply thine heart to understanding. So they say they're trying to get them to understand. What are they trying to get them to understand? Precepts of the Most High? They want Kyrie to incline his ear to what understanding, to what wisdom. So this is what you understand here, not from men's evil, wicked minds. Verse 3, yeah, if thou criest after knowledge and liftest up thy voice for understanding, if thou seekest her as silver, and that's that wisdom, that's that her I was just talking about. If thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and find the knowledge of Yahweh. So that's the understanding from the wisdom of the commandments of the Most High, not from what a man in their own wicked little secret society, if you don't know who these people are for the majority, what do they have that's so knowledgeable to understand? Nothing. They have that from Satan. It's all rhetoric. They don't have anything to understand. They basically want you to just bow down and be quiet so that you can continue in their evil, wicked society of lies. So when we go to so what's wisdom and understanding? So we'll go ahead and go to Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, my power, commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. So the commandments, when we go to the promised land, verse 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So that's the understanding, and that's the wisdom that you incline your ear unto, and not try to get understanding from a serpent, cave beast, retard that didn't create anything but only capitalized off of our greatness. The Most High blessed us and gave us, the wisdom, and because over 95% of the inventions are from who? Israelites, and a great majority are from the tribe of Judah, so-called black man, that Esau has capitalized off of, and he makes all the money off of these inventions, and that they enjoy. So there's nothing for us. There's nothing that they can tell us that'll give us any kind of understanding. Only corruption. Proverbs 4 and 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So we know that the law, statutes, and commandments is the wisdom from the Most High. And we get understanding of it as we get all the commandments and study it And we, with all our getting of the commandments, we get the true understanding and applying it and getting skillful in that wisdom to be able to apply it to life. The cave beast cannot teach us anything of understanding and cannot give us any knowledge for nothing. He's going to give you that which deteriorates. He can teach you death. He can't teach you life, which are the commandments. Kyrie, he already has understanding that his people are the real Jews. So there's nothing that he can, tell us that they can tell him. So they use their media control to try to take control of the narrative, demonize him at all costs. And come up with that false narrative to protect their remedial lies. So we'll go to 2 Thessalonians 2:3-4. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So what day shall not come? The end times shall not come, the very end, except there come a falling away first, and that falling away. So the end times will not come until the falling away first, when we fell away from like the documentary says, from Hebrews to Negroes, when we got kicked out of our land, fell away from our the promised land, and then all the way to the end times here. And then now that man of sin is being revealed after he's kicked out behind from the punishment the Most High allowed him to inflict upon us. And now he's being revealed, the son of perdition. He's been revealed by the prophets and teachers of the Most High since around 1969. But the Most High is the truth is now slapping everybody in the face on a grand scale, on a commercial scale now, because celebrities, Kanye and Kyrie, who are known by everybody throughout the U.S. and throughout the earth, because all these countries got basketball leagues and they all know about these players. So everybody so the scriptures say, and the truth shall be preached in all throughout the entire earth, and then the end shall come. So this is the Most High's one of the last major pushes to really pump it out on a commercial scale, because everybody going to hear about this and know what this is, know who Kyrie is, and they're all following this and knowing about it. And so what's going to happen? A lot of people are going to get activated. A lot of the elect going to get awakened alone by this alone, coming in at the last hour, the last few minutes before the destruction come and the deliverance and salvation. So this is a great, Most High is the ultimate chess player, and this is the Most High doing this to push it out there on a great scale right now, even further than what it already has been done. This is just to gather in the last bit of the elect that needs to awaken. So this phone will be tripping. Verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So he's telling everybody that, just like in his proud, arrogant remarks, saying they're trying to get Kyrie to understand, like he's the Most High, like he has the understanding and the wisdom to teach him something about life, when all they do is teach you about how wicked they are with their heinous, inhumane track record of murder, right? And abominable, profane blasphemy and sin. But this is who these people are. Revelations 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation. The Israelites, we had to build this country for free. We get all of our inventions stolen by the cave beast. Our tribulation, our troubles, and our getting gunned down in the streets. Continual, perpetual oppression. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, and we rich. I mean, we're poor here in Satan's kingdom, but spiritually we are rich for the kingdom of heaven to come. But thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So that's who that is, having the audacity, the caucasity, the pride to say that they're trying to get Kyrie to understand. But they are the synagogue of Satan. That's what we understand and know. Nothing they say is life. It's all death. In Revelation 3 and 9, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. They're not the synagogue. They're the synagogue of Satan. They're not the Jews, but they do lie. That false narrative of what anti, but they don't quote any scriptures. All they're doing is lying. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. They have a lot to pay. They have the most to pay in this earth because they're the ones that the tribe of Amalek, the so-called the Ish people, little hats. They are the closest. They're directly linked to Satan. They're directly in communication with Satan because they're the ones responsible for what all of the Hollywood movies, the satanic Hollywood horror films, because all of these directors are Jewish. They're little hats, little hat people. Majority of the directors are little hats. So all of the evil satanic movies they push, adultery, all the alternate lifestyle of same gender. You already know what I'm talking about. And then the music, they own the music industry, the death rap culture, and the murder and everything, the drugs, the adultery, whoremongering. So that is what they're responsible for. And the media, internet, radio, newspapers, before the internet and radio, before the internet, television. So they're the ones pumping everything. They're directly linked to Satan. Because I remember there was a Johnny Depp was on a late night talk show one time, many years back, about 10 years ago, probably at least 10 years ago. And when he was doing his Pirates of the Caribbean series, and pirate basically just means ocean thieves. They would find boats and find ships on the ocean and steal, and even on land as well. So they're pirates. They're the pirates of the earth, the thieves, right? But he said that the host asked Johnny Depp, you must like to. So he asked him something about he must love to see the film, see his finished product before it comes out, in theaters. And he was like, nope, I don't check out the final edits or anything like that. He said he go ahead and film. And he gets up, he leaves, and he leaves out of there because when he finished filming, he appears, talking about basically alluding to Satan, right? So these people are directly linked to Satan because the Jewish directors, when they finish filming, they do their final cuts and all of that, and they pretty it up and do it however they wrap, they put the final edits and final touches on it before they release it, final revising of it before they put it forward into the theaters. And then they, especially the most satanic movies, I guess, they directly communicating and getting the full approval and direction from Satan, right? So that's what Johnny Depp was referring to. So these people are the synagogue of Satan. And they have so much to pay for because everybody's destroyed at their direct influence. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Like I was just going into it. They control everything. The little hats. They're the wicked. Because even over here, the so-called Americans, they even answer to them as well. So they're all the same nation, but the little hat people are the top tribe in wickedness over there. That's guiding everybody, their own people, and then all the other heathen nations. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. They whitewash all of our images of the Most High, the Messiah, and the apostles, the angels, and the elect. right? And all of our prophets and everyone that wrote the Bible, everything's whitewashed. So that's how he covered the faces of the judges. If not, and you judge according to the law, statutes, and commandments. He that is spiritual judgeth all things. 1 Corinthians 2:15, I believe. So that's how you judge. You judge according to the law, righteous judgment. So if not, where and who is he? So if they're not doing it, so-called white race not doing it, then who is doing it? And where is he at? you know. So we know that's how we know who the wicked of the earth is, and we know that the wicked is in control of the earth right now. First Maccabees 3:48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So this was during the time of Maccabees, when the Greeks came into power, and they were oppressing and coming up against us in battles, and they had defiled our temple, and had came in there and defiled our temple for a period, and then we came back and fought back, came back and overtook them and beat them and kicked them out of our temple, out of the land, and we restored the temple. And that's what the true story of Hanukkah, because the filthy Greeks, which are chiefly the tribe of Amalek, the little hats that they would become later, because they're the top tribe of the Edomites, and they were heavy involved in this, and so they opened our laws, and they was trying to seeking to paint the likeness of, that's when they were trying to whitewash ever since way back since around 300, around 100 BC. And this was like about a couple hundred years before the Messiah, Yahushua, came into the earth. And then that period, a lot of wars with them, and that was the beginning phases of us becoming Hellenized, meaning like we're Americanized today. Before we wake up to the truth, we were Hellenized, meaning Greekized, basically, for lack of a better word, when we became Greeks. And that's why you have to know the history. That's what that Galatians 3:28. There is neither Jew nor Greek, because we were Hellenized, and there was a lot of us that was living as Greeks, a lot of Jews living as Greeks. Those were the Gentiles, the Jews that were heathenized, basically, and the Northern Kingdom as well to this day, right now. So the lost Gentiles are the Israelites. The heathen Gentiles had nothing to do with. Matthew 15:24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that's who Yahushua came for, not for no heathens. The Gentile Israelites that were living as Gentiles. Like if someone in your family living like, wild, evil, wicked heathen, you would say, man, you a heathen, man. When they living pretty moralist, without morals, say, man, you a heathen, man. So that's what they became Gentiles, heathen Gentiles. Matthew 10:6. We'll start at 5. That these 12 Yahushua sent forth, who the disciples, who became apostles, and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles. These are the heathen Gentiles here, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And then there's one more verse here I want to get. In Matthew 18:11, for the Son of Man is come to save that which was lost. So that was his only mission, is to come to save the lost Israelites. And when you do the translation comparison, oh man, what happened? When you do the translation comparison, check this out. When you go to the NIV, the New International Version, why is it blank? Anyone that has an NIV Bible, pull that up. Pull up Matthew 18:11, or just download this app here. You can look at it, because when you go to the translation comparisons to kind of get a more modern version, I'll break it down a little further in plain terms. When you try to get that explanation here in the NIV, it's not there, and even in a few other versions. So that's why you don't go into these other versions. Mainly, you have to get your foundation to know what's good to get the meat out of it and spit out the bones. But you gotta get your foundation first in the King James version. That's the most accurate version. So why would the NIV have this Bible verse removed? That show you that's the synagogue of Satan. The scriptures say, "He that take away from the word, the Most High gonna, add the plagues of this book unto them." So that's what Esau Edom has coming for him. So then also, so Kanye and Kyrie and anyone else, and like Nick Cannon about a year or so ago, anyone that comes up and mention anything about us being the real Jews, they're gonna have their little false narrative, victim BS narrative, and then what? Because there's nothing new under the sun. So right here, this is the time when we was fighting those filthy Greeks that was defiling our temple, the holy temple of the Most High. It says, 2 Maccabees 6:4, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling. So that riotous life, heathen culture that came and defiled the temple with, and reveling by the Gentiles. These are the heathen Gentiles here, who dallied with harlots. They were doing abominable sexual acts with harlots inside the temple, from what it's saying right here. As Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, are filthy, profane bastards, man, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. So they was in there defiling the temple of the Most High. You think the Most High is coming to save these people that does this? Hell no. They have hellfire, thermonuclear fire in their future, man. It's a wicked people, man. And had to do with them within the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful, like probably bringing in like pigs and things of that nature. So Esau, Edom, so-called white race, they get off on defiling the sacred. They even, their most favorite thing to defile and profane is the Most High and the Messiah and the holy, and the chosen people, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. But they love to defile all nations' beliefs and morals and their belief, like their false idols and things of that nature, right? Because the so-called white race, they're the most dumb. They're the most dumb, idiotic nation on the earth. They don't have any kind of culture. They don't have anything. They have to take from everybody else, and they love to defile it. That's like a sport for them to defile everybody else. So anybody thinking that they'll be saved, you just got to wake up and realize these people are of Satan, man. There's no saving them. They've done a lot of terrible things that they got to pay for. Verse 5, the altar also was filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. So how can they get? So what do these rats have to tell Kyrie to get him to understand? Nothing. They have nothing to offer but just wickedness and abomination and profanity and blasphemy. Verse 6, this is the key I want to get here. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So all Kyrie did what? Post a video, a documentary he posted a documentary on Amazon Prime that anybody can go and look at, saying it's called From Hebrews to Negroes. So now they've been attacking him mercilessly, terrorizing and bullying him as the bullies that they are, right? The terrorists that they are, to try to beat them into powder and to beat them into submission. And so it's because why? It is illegal for a Jew, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So it's unlawful today for us to claim our natural rite of passage, our rightful bloodline of the nation of Israel, that we're the Israelites and the real Jews. These people hate us. There's nothing new under the sun. It was happening then with the filthy Greeks and the Greco-Romans. They became the Greco-Roman Empire, and then now they're the same people today, the Edomites. So that was the point on that. So yeah, these people are wicked. So because all they have is their foundation, and their decree is the anti-ish people, the anti-Shemitic, right? So it's the same old played out carnal playbook, from them. So whoever reveals the truth, they cry wolf. The little hats cry wolf, with the false victim narrative of anti. They slander the person mercilessly. They beat them into submission to apologize, and if not, illegally take their money, like they did Kanye. Because Kanye, he was a billionaire, and then he's no longer a billionaire after they had all of those. They colluded with the companies those businesses that he was partnered with. They all started dropping him, and which made him no longer a billionaire. And the wicked Israeli Israeli prime minister came out with a statement saying that he was happy with the response. And that's a very carnal action. That's not a spiritual action at all. There's nothing righteous about that. Stealing people's money, destroying people's bank accounts because they're speaking the truth. The Israelites are about the truth. They have the truth, which is the commandments, and they're all about lies. So they're not the people of the Most High. Because they're nothing but deceivers and thugs. They're the true thugs and niggers on the earth. They're the true niggers on the earth. That they embody everything that evil slur is. So because they're going to get their own vengeance when that's not biblical at all, is it either? Nothing they do is biblical. It's all carnal wickedness under Satan. Romans 12:19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves. What are they doing right now? Taking Kanye's money, taking Kyrie's money, and threatening anybody, and forcing them to apologize to get their vengeance. So, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, meaning be patient. Just step back and let it happen from the Most High. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. So what are they doing that is honoring and obeying? That's a commandment from the Most High. Give place, do not take vengeance. But that's what they do all the time. They're relentlessly all day slandering and attacking Kyrie to get him to either apologize, and if he don't apologize, they're going to take his money. And that's what they're doing now. Since he didn't want to apologize, they're taking his money, and they suspended him for at least 5 games without pay. So now that's not legal. They have the contracts that show you they're the evil, wicked bastards that will never change, because they signed those peace treaties with the natives, and what they did, they broke all of those peace treaties and killed them and took their land, right? So these NBA contracts, these sports contracts, they're supposed to be ironclad. These contracts, you're supposed to honor the contract. You can't just all of a sudden just stop honoring the contract because your feelings are hurt about the truth, because they don't bow down and bow their soul unto them and apologize. Then they're going to take your money. That is the epitome of what Satan is. They epitomize Satan in every sense of the word. Matthew 16:25. So hopefully, the Lord, if he's a part of the, if the Most High give him his portion to be strong and endure this, this is what he has to do. Kyrie Irving, Matthew 16:25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. So they have the they have the contracts, they got all the money in banks. You have to be willing to just throw all that away if you want to survive. I mean, if you want to gain your life in the kingdom of heaven, you got to be willing to lose it all for the truth's sake, and for the name of the Most High Power, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Because like there was one account where the Messiah told the rich man he had to what he need to do in order to follow him. He said, sell everything that he has and follow him. And the rich man walked away, basically, distressed and sad about it, and he couldn't do it. So, so that's what Kyrie he's being faced with right now. So we'll see how it unfolds. But these athletes they have a lot of money from these contracts, and they have a lifestyle that they want to maintain, and so we'll see, if he go ahead and apologize. So Revelations 12 and but he did nothing wrong. He offended the lies by speaking the truth. Revelations 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So he has a short time, and anybody bringing out the truth, and these are clear signs that his time is dwindling down by the second, by the day. When people that are not in the truth like that, bringing out the truth, they know the truth, and they speak it, they sharing the truth. These are people because these athletes, they have millions of followers on these social media accounts, and they know the power in that. The little hat Satan children, they know the power in that, and so that's why they're trying to beat him in the powder or take his money if he don't submit. Verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom. Because the Messiah said, what? I will not meet thee as a man. When he returns, he's going to be in his full spiritual power and the full strength. And then the elect are going to be changed and get those spiritual bodies as well when they get that salvation. And the kingdom of our power, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And the power of his anointed. That's what Christ means, anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. And who is that? These little hats and all of their fellow tribe nation, fellow tribesmen of the other elite. Other Edomite so-called white race. They will be cast down and torn down, which accused them before our power day and night. So that's what they're doing right now to Kyrie. Of course, all of us, but anybody that speak the truth, they're going to accuse them day and night until they, tear them down all the way. But these people are done. Lies can only last for so long. The truth is going to always, the truth stands. You can only keep it down for so long. And the Most High is allowing it to happen this way. And then that truth is going to rise up uncontrollably and overtake and consume everything. And bring the peace back in the earth. So this is the end of these wicked devils, of these Edomites. So we read it, verse 1 first. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Most High Power Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, concerning Edom. Edom is so-called white race. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. So, the Yahushua is going to go amongst the heathen, going to go up against Edom first and foremost, because they're the ones ruling the earth right now and have us in their possession, destroying us and slandering us and terrorizing and bullying us right now. So that's the context. This is about Edom, so-called white race. Verse 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. See, the shame is going to come down upon them. A lot of them are feeling that shame. Everyone, they all know something horrible is about to come down upon them because they've been wicked all these hundreds of years, and actually their whole entire existence been nothing but wicked, and they know, they all feel it. They can feel it in the air, man. They know that the spirit of judgment is coming down upon them because they're everywhere they look. Their kingdom is falling apart. With the roads is breaking down, bridges, and homelessness is skyrocketing at an all-time high, and the economy is tearing down. The corrupt officials, that's the Most High is revealing them. So they know, they see the writing on the wall that they're about to go down, and they know that it's going to be they scared, and that's good because we've been scared. Jacob, we've been terrified and oppressed and terrorized for a long time, and now the righteous balance is about to happen, and everything's going to get flipped, and now it's going to be their turn. And this is going to be the end result after all of the slavery that they got to perform first. Isaiah and Obadiah 1:18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. This represents Jacob is representing the southern kingdom here in this instance, and then and the house of Joseph, that's representing the northern kingdom, because Joseph had Ephraim and Manasseh, and we know Ephraim is the top tribe for the northern kingdom, so that's what that's representing. So all 12 tribes. In the house of Jacob, which is the southern kingdom, shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph, the northern kingdom, a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them. What does kindle mean? When you light something on fire. And devour them. Who? Devour who? Esau, the father of the so-called white race, the Edomites. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. Who is the house of Esau? Who's the house of Jacob? The house of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And who's the house of Esau? The so-called white race, headed by those little hats. For the Lord Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, hath spoken it. So that's their end. And we're at that point. But, just to see the hypocrisy and the lies, it's just a very remedial narrative that they will just always repeat. And it's the same old played out narrative. As you've just seen, I've pulled up plenty and many precepts. That's how you do it. Not by just saying anti this, anti that. Yeah, they're anti-Israelites. They're anti-truth. We're pro-truth and we're pro-Shemitic. And we have plenty of precepts in the history to prove it. We have plenty. All we do is dive into the scriptures, and they'll be cut to pieces because they can't stand on truth. Because we're the nation that the Most High blessed with the truth, and that's such that is an incredible blessing to be that nation, be a part of that nation. So with that being said, I hope this video is edifying. The water to Rachakudash, Bahasham Yahushai for another video. Till next video, I say Shalom.